like to give you some information about lawful interception for modern network environments. One of the issues in the past has been that the focus has been more on just voice or other areas, but we really need to consider the complete network environment, which means basically not only voice but also the internet and digital network environment. Lawful interception really has a very important purpose to cover a number of areas. The first is protecting civil property and saving lives from attack, either cyber crime rings or criminals. The second really is performing justice and auditing process by law. And then the third is helping to maintain social stability and increasing economic development. There are a lot of challenges to current issues in terms of lawful interception. There's a lot of issues that make it very difficult. The first is that typical lawful interception is based on old telecom network, such as voice analog and other areas, without really considering new IP networks and technology. Secondly, the important thing is that a lot of the tasks in path and batch processes and very limited processes that don't really catch things in real time. The issue is you really need to do things in real time to be effective. And then the third area is that it tends to focus on very limited areas like voice and email, but it misses a lot of other popular services. The issue like MSN. In MSN you can transfer files, you can transfer data as attachments, and many of the other technologies, for example, Skype and lots of others. And so we really need to consider all the other kinds of online services and technologies, not just email. So the current big challenge is that it's really currently out-of-date technology that's being used, and this really is not effective in terms of mitigating the risk of this kind of cybercrime. New criteria for lawful interception. The new criteria, if we really want to be effective, and we really want to deter crime and detect crime, and actually be able to analyze it and catch it, we need to consider both telecom and voice and network and IP whole environment. We need to be compliant with various standards. We need to be able to get down to the very low-level IP packets and data communication and actually decode and be able to analyze that as much as possible. That means not just email, but it means as many as 100 or more different protocols. It means we need to be able to capture the data and be able to search and analyze and review the data and keep it for long-term tracking and evidence and reporting. And then one of the very important things is we need to have very powerful analysis tools and capability that we can also deploy easily into your specific application area and into your network with high security. We need to be able to have a flexible solution that can fit with real-time analysis and adapt to fit the actual environment that you're using. Two kind of modes of using our powerful network analysis and security analysis tools. One, such as in the telecom on the left side, is basically a centralized approach, where you might use one or two or some number of our systems in a centralized position to capture all the data at the source or at a central point. And this would be, for example, like a telecom or a major internet trunk or other area, a large network. And then the second way is on the right side, in a large organization, or in a corporate organization, or in a department or something like that, such as maybe a department of the government or something, or a large corporation. There are many individual networks, interconnected networks. And so in this case, we need a distributed solution to be able to have multiple points where we can capture data in different areas of the network and then accurately collect all these transcoded packets and be able to collect them, analyze them, and allow investigative people to be able to check and actually catch problems or detect problems in the network. So we have a solution that really can fit either centralized or distributed. interception is not really targeting just a single type of communication. And it's not just a single type of equipment like a computer. Or it's not just one network. And it's not just one place or one time. We need to have the capability to be able to do 24-hour detection on all sorts of communication paths, all sorts of equipment, all kinds of networks, and be able to analyze that, decode it, review it, be able to search in a very powerful kind of solution. So this is what we have, a powerful solution to handle these kind of issues. For modern networks, we have a powerful solution called eDetective. And eDetective and our various related products, we have a solution to basically capture data in real time and to be able to make it very easy to analyze and detect problems and to catch this kind of unauthorized access or criminal activity very easily at a high level and in real time. There are three tiers, basically. There is the first tier, which is at the network switch or the early stage or an incoming point of traffic. And this is basically catching the very low-level packets and data in the network. A lot of this data is transitory, and this is the key to catching some criminal activity. Some criminals can erase their tracks, delete files, change things, whatever. And if you didn't catch this low-level data, you might not have any evidence at all. So the key is to catch this minor data, and then no matter what the criminal does, if they clear something on one of the computers, it doesn't matter, because you've already caught the data. The second tier is the eDetective and various tools that can analyze this, decode the packets, figure out what kind of data was being sent back and forth, unscramble it, and allow you to look at that piece of data and make a judgment, is this reasonable or not. And then third tier is a centralized management system where that you can actually look at all this data that's been collected, review it, search it, analyze it, get various reports and searches to kind of help you analyze and figure out if there's anything in there that should be investigated more. Training programs is another very important part of our solution. We have some advanced training programs that can have step-by-step guide to help your people really understand how to use the tools most effectively, how to detect this kind of criminal activity, cybernet activity, and how to deal with it, how to collect data, and actually how to use the tools most effectively. And then finally, to make a very complete solution, we have some consulting service that can provide you very specific consulting to help particular things you may want to do or customize. And then for customized service, we can provide the capability to either assist or customize or help you to integrate our solutions into your own database and your own internal solutions if needed. For eDetective, we have a management facility which allows you to have a very powerful way to review the data that's been collected and to analyze the details of that data and make various decisions about it. First, the key is this is a real-time streaming process with capabilities of really going down to the details and looking at the data. We can decode data packets of 180 different protocols, for example, MSN or various online services and types. This is very important because a lot of people are using MSN or Yahoo or these other kind of services to transfer data, transfer files, like chat programs with attachments. And so all they have to do is use one of these programs, they skip the email, and then that means for the usual situation, you wouldn't detect anything, no trace. But using our advanced eDetective and tools, we can capture that data, we can save it, and we can decode it. And then basically we can have some primary data analysis reports, or you can go in and search, you can view by user, you can look at it by category, such as video or other things, and then we can reconstruct this data. We can look at the exact thing that was sent out of your system to another place, And then you can basically decide whether that is something unusual or normal by looking at the pattern. And this is very important because it means you can see the content, not just some piece of very low-level data. The next thing is we can integrate with third-party wallet systems or other systems in your environment. And this is very important because we can have a high-performance solution which is compliant with standards and basically allows you to do really fast real-time analysis and review of the data that's going back and forth. So to kind of summarize, eDetective is a very powerful surveillance and forensic analysis system which can track the very detailed data going back and forth in your network and allow you to reconstruct that and actually view the content of what people are passing back and forth and do various kind of what-ifs and analysis to detect various problems. So this is a very powerful forensics analysis tool and a cybercrime investigation tool. Basically from the sniffing to the decoding of many different types of things, and then the reporting, the analysis, storing it. This is a very advanced device and kind of solution for allowing lawful interception and really analysis of all of this data. Now, the very important thing to kind of summarize, to win the battle against cybercrime, you really need powerful weapons. And so in Decision Group, we have some very powerful solutions which can allow you to really collect, analyze, and decode and review this data in real time, which is very important. And to review not only just a piece of the data, but all the data, all the different kinds of data that might be going on. So it's a very complete solution. And then the other part of that is that we need to have a good strategy and qualify soldiers, which means we need to have the knowledge and training to enable your people to use the tools most powerfully. And that means that we can have a one-stop shop with solutions and training to really enable your organization to do the maximum to protect against cybercrime. For professional training, this is a very important area because even though our eDetective and the related tools are very powerful, these are complex, powerful tools. They're easy to use, but there's a lot of capability. And the best way to use them most effectively, of course, is with some advanced training. We offer some very professional training, which we can go in and train in a small classroom so that your people can really get a lot of value out of it and become very effective in using the tools. So this is the key, to really have an experienced instructor to give you some real skills in terms of how to detect this kind of thing using these kind of tools and how to analyze it and how to dig into it with some really practical hands-on focus. This 3-day course basically gives you basic ideas about how to use these tools and how to actually do this analysis, how to detect problems, and really is a hands-on way to make your team much more powerful. Just in general, we have a range of customers in many areas, and we provide the police of Taiwan, China, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, South Korea, and Indonesia this kind of advanced tool and training to be able to crack this kind of cybercrime and international cybercrime, and to really enable them to be quite powerful in handling this kind of situation, being able to analyze, detect, collect data, and actually solve these kinds of issues. And not only in Asia, but we have customers all over the world, in the U.S. and Europe, in South Africa, and different African area countries, so all over the world, the Middle East, and so on. But the key is that with this kind of a powerful data analysis, this kind of a powerful security system, we can really go in and enable different police departments, different areas and countries to really control cybercrime and get into this kind of area and really make a significant improvement in this area. For contacting us, you can email to decision@decision.com.tw, or you can go online and look at our web at http://www.edecision4u.com. Thank you very much.